with an attitude, but this money got me in a better mood. Smoking strong, yeah, that medical. It's Friday, I'ma get you high today. You ain't got no job anyway. That's the word I heard in the barbershop. Got fired trying to steal a box. Boys in the hood being bullied, better hit you both with a center block. Ride along with me, it's 10 o'clock. Don't be asking me, yo, we there yet? Walking lottery ticket. We about to hit the Players Club for some triple X. I been all about the Benjamins, been 15th Street from the jump. Dangerous grounds, if you think shit all Gucci, nigga, little punk. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm the nigga that you love to hate. Trespass, I retaliate. You should've read the warning on the gate. Go to church on the first Sunday, just to steal out the collection plate. I been smoking Sunset Sherbet. How you learn to watch me levitate? Steady mobbing with my day ones. Break the west side of America. Most wanted, I'm the predator. Y'all better pray, I'm telling you. Laugh now, cry later. Damn, I can't stand a hater. Nah, I take that back. In fact, y'all on the team still as fuck you, no Vaseline. No homo, Jakey promo. That's the reason I don't fuck with y'all. This shit might end in a fist fight. It's a long shot, I catch a L tonight. The next cut, I'm the next up. Like the gamble, put your bets up. I see you through you like a glass shield. You don't really wanna bet, bruh. Once upon a time in the projects, pushing weight was the object. It's too many niggas telling now. I seen it all, I'm a ghetto vet. Today was a good day. I feel like Ice Cube. No, my name ain't O'Shea still. I'm a nigga with an attitude, but this money got me in a better mood. Smoking strong, yeah, that medical. It's Friday, I'ma get you high today. You ain't got no job anyway. That's the word I heard in the barbershop. Got fired trying to steal a box. Boys in the hood being bullied, better hit you both with a center block. Ride along with me, it's 10 o'clock. Don't be asking me, yo, we there yet? Walking lottery ticket. We about to hit the Players Club for some triple X. I'ma start jacking for beats, like I did on my mixtapes. Some of that shit don't be sounding good. You know how we do it if you feel some way. I got the hookup. I got the key to the book of life. You just gotta stay up and smoke. That other shit just ain't right. They talk about you in the beauty shop and the barber shop too. Ooh, they ask why we thugs. Shit, I thought you knew. The hood raised natural born killers. They die hard, nigga Bruce Willis. Fuck the police, come to Dub C. Yeah, that's West Sell and Casey. Being trapped in X Tracy. The Nog night goes like Mars. Heard I was jumping in and out of cars, breaking all kind of laws. Block jumping like a frog. Until we rich, I ain't letting up. Really though, nigga, real though. Boy, guess what?
I mix nation for real.
So y'all.
The outcasts are using a radio-master Constitution to broadcast propaganda. We need to stop the airwaves.
A hostile control point detected. Hostile control point nearby. Hostile control point identified.
That's it, right? This isn't over yet. Not by a long shot.
Hostile control point nearby.
Constitution camp is overrun and locked down tight.
Guess we're doing it the old-fashioned way. Make a lot of noise and hope they open up.
Fucking coward.
still need to get you through that gate. See if Isaac has any ideas.
Explosives detected.
Yeah, I put that in my song right now. What's wrong? Need help getting up? Huh?
I wish I had some makeup.
You don't even wear makeup.
Huh?
You don't even wear makeup.
My face?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. You mad 'cause I told the truth? That's why.
Damn, what is it with you division agents and your love for blowing shit up?
Catharsis.
Why I should do it.
Clear those assholes out.
I thought the front and the back was like one thing, and I thought it was gonna be kind of the same. They sell all kinds of shit in that motherfucker, man. Like half the shit she was talking about. But I mean,
With the radio transmitter. That should cut off the connection.
like when you, okay, see, she took over 4 years ago. Okay, And then she put 200,000 into that store. So that means she revamped the whole store. It's like TVs everywhere. Like when you walk in that bitch, just 2 TVs against the wall that's, you know what I'm saying, behind you when you walk in the door. But then the whole walls is full of TV. That motherfucker like show goddamn like little place to sit down and shit. Watch.
Now see if you can tune into something more radio friendly.
Agent requesting backup.
Not reading the signal from here. Check the power supply. Still nothing. Maybe they're running a frequency jammer. Yeah, we are live. Reading that station loud and clear.
Sorry, Agent, but it's not over yet. You have hostiles inbound on your position.
Just hold out a little longer, Agent. The campus has sent reinforcements.
Reinforcements are almost there, Agent.
Maybe they'll stay away from now on.
We'll take it from here. All right, guys, secure the radio mast and take anything else we can salvage back to the camp. There's more gear here than we initially thought. Should be enough to set up a workshop.
Sounds like they got it covered, Agent.
Friendly control point detected. Friendly control point nearby. Base match. Item of interest detected. Nearby echo detected. Object of interest detected.
Shout for support.
What the fuck is that motherfucker name? Let's say go underground. Bitch, underground. Boom. Boom, get down. Can't find the bitch. It's supposed to be like right up in there. Man, worry about the motherfuckers outside, man. I'm here for the shade tech. Damn, they got a problem with that. I'm gonna kill them. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's cool.
Russians nearby.
True Sons have taken over the Lincoln Memorial. They're keeping a low profile right now and not directly threatening the campus. But it worries me that they might be here to recruit civilians, or planning an attack. Probably better to push them back into their own territory before they secure an outpost this close to civilians.
Backup request.
Alright. Had to go and get that twist up real quick.
We need you to secure the memorial and remove the True Sons forces. If they maintain this outpost, True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
Bet you thought you were clever.
I'll finish that agent. You oh. Shit! Close!
Let's do this. Watch for friendly.
Come here, motherfucker. Where you going?
Got a visual on additional hostiles in the memorial compound. They're moving south. There's a gate between you. It looks closed from here.
Agent, you'll need to find a way to open that gate.
Got a breach! Spread out. Find the intruders.
fuck? I knew I was about to be Delta or something. That shit that don't make no sense. Make sure I'm on the right server. Yeah, I'm on the right server. I ain't gonna lie, man. Since I done moved, and I got the setup pretty much in the same way it was before, but now I got a little bit more room, so I'm gonna put my mic on the front side of the table, on my monitor to the front side of the table on the
We
Twitch.
need you to secure the memorial and remove the True Sons' forces. If they maintain this outpost, the True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
Instead of having it on the back, because it's stretched all the way out. Shit, I got to be able to sit back and kind of chill, you know what I'm saying? So, probably after this mission, I'll do that. Alright. Let's try this shit again. Last time it glitched on my ass and
Agents
Delta
requesting
my ass.
backup.
It ain't worth laying on that ground though.
Taking away too much fire!
All clear. I repeat, the compound is all clear.
No, that can't be all of them. Check the interior while I get Henry's people to maintain the perimeter.
Appreciate that, one dense mofo. I'm doing all right today, man. How you doing, man? Just grinding it out a little bit on my second character on Division 2. Nothing too much, man. Kind of taking a lackadaisical day, really, because damn AC went out of my other APT, you know what I'm saying? So I had to goddamn switch it up, switch up to another apartment. So I kind of did that early, got it out the way, figure I'd grind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? How you doing today, man?
You should be approaching a small museum. I need you to make sure it's clear.
Yeah, it's assault rifle. I put it in that. I had to think about that. Oh.
I knew it! Want this?
For yourself.
Easy down!
What you did. Eating out of the fucking buffet out of this bitch. Where you going? Push his I got somebody flanking, that's all it's gonna take a different approach.
Who's that over there?
I saw you motherfucking ass. Yeah, that's what I'm working on now. This build right here is I'm working on making this a assault rifle build. That's all I run with. So I'm trying to do that because on my other character, I got a True Patriot build that's pretty sick. I got I'm working on getting like hardwire. I already got like the other gear sets, and I got a dope ass raid set over there on my main character. And I kind of got into more of the, once I had more time to devote into the game, I actually got into the, like, you know what I'm saying, build and how you build and stuff like that. So I was kind of able to say, okay, I want to probably do another character and probably do things a little bit differently this particular time around. And that's why I was saying with this character, I got assault rifle build.
An area beneath you with increased security. Isaac can't access data on this location. Stay alert. I don't know what you're walking into.
Got all weapons damage bonus, rifle bonus, I need to get my assault rifle damage. I changed the piece out. It actually gave me assault rifle damage for a piece that was better as far as armor goes, but my weapon damage kind of compensates for that with the higher damage I'm putting out with the ACR that I just got. So it's a little bit of things. I'm looking for some more assault rifle gear because right now, as you can see, I didn't have any assault rifle damage. I could probably switch that out. I got DTE armor on kill. I mean, I'm always killing, so that's 15% armor on kill. But then that'll boost me up 13% on DTE. Where am I at on DTE now? 27%. So that'll boost me to 40% DTE. That might work. Believe it or not. The only difference between the two is it gives me health and it gives me critical hit chance on top of the 15% armor and 7% damage to elites. So right now, I think I might stay with that right now. It's like a puzzle, man. I swear it is.
Kill those fuckers! Bravo, get the rest of those motor rounds into the tunnels!
That's a gate. Open up. Open up. I'ma take it. I'ma take it. Open up. Open up. I don't want that. I want it, but I don't want it. See, I got that. Yeah, I'm on Xbox. Yup. Look at there. See now, if that had what I got on my vest right now, I'd have switched it out. I'd have switched it right on out. I ain't even joking. But it don't. But I'm gonna take it and then I'm gonna probably sell it. I'll break it down. Smash. Gotta go down here. Wait.
Fuck this noise. I'm not dying to help with the ammo count.
Open the gate. Yeah, more supplies.
DC-62.
Never go without them.
Isaac just ID'd those shells as chemical weapons. We can't afford to let the True Sons escape with those. You gotta find a way to close up that tunnel.
Damn, I just realized I hit level 22. I wonder when that happened. Probably in that last time I got killed or some shit. I don't know.
You useless shit! Why the fuck haven't you got this locked down? Keep the shells moving and hold the line.
Yep. Open that door. Yeah, I gotta I think I gotta do something else to open up the recal. I gotta do like another mission or two to open up the recal station. That's why I'm kind of, you know what I'm saying, grinding it out now. Cause I gotta open up that recal station. I want to be able to recal. That is the biggest thing right now.
Friendly down!
That is the biggest thing for me right now. Is wanting to get that recal table. Oh yeah, I definitely heard about that TU6. Yeah, I heard about that TU6. I actually got to look into some of the PTS server the other day. I got a friend. I'm a Facebook streamer as well, and I got a friend who plays on both Xbox and PC. The PTS was, only PC. I hosted his stream, and I also got a chance to see some of the gameplay and different things from the PTS. I'm probably every time he usually goes live with the PTS, he'll let me know, so I'll like host it, and then I'll actually be watching it, because I'm not just a streamer. I'm actually someone who watches other streamers as well. So, you know what I'm saying? There it is. Uh-huh.
Right there on that corner. Walmart now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fucking accident. Somebody hold right side of the bumper. The tire joint all fucked up.
Damn.
I put $15.74 in there, so there's exactly $10 left on the card.
Shit, I thought you was actually gonna get something from Walmart. I wasn't really sure. Oh, I already know it.
But it's steady flow. And this stuff had
I ain't worried about the Eagle Bearer, man. Honestly, you fuck around and put enough assault rifle damage on your motherfucking AR, that Eagle Bearer ain't gonna be able to tell you shit. Get you some good talents and get your gear together. That Eagle Bearer ain't gonna be able to tell you shit, boss. What time to tell you? Damn, what's my rifle at? Oh, I thought that bitch was hitting harder than the rifle I got. I was about to say, hold up, wait a minute, let me put some pimping in it. Fuck you mean? Yeah, that what you need. That P416. That thing right there, right. That thing will get you right, man. She will surely get you right. You ain't doing nothing wrong with that. That's really one of the guns. If you go hit an assault rifle, that's the one you want because of the high rate of fire. When you put that damage behind that motherfucker, it's retarded, boss.
According to the schematics Isaac pulled upstairs, we can lock that tunnel door from their control center. That should keep them from being able to transport those boarders loaded with DC-62.
Wrong pistol on their ass. Getting their ass with the pistol, family. Call me Pistol Pete. Yeah, the P416. Honestly, if you get good gear talents around that mug, put a lot of assault. Don't mash it, but I say put a good healthier bit of assault rifle damage on it. There you go. Just hold the right trigger until you can't no more. Is that a red box? Nope. Y'all punk asses all upstairs though. Look for your ass. Nowhere. Oh. You ain't going nowhere. Wait a minute. I gotta go downstairs for real? It's unusual. Something over here. Let me go check. Yep.
That should keep them from getting more of those mortars.
You think going to the tunnel is smart? Fuck you. You flood
Probably
yourself
yellow cord,
with
Merc.
I'm
Ha!
drop
Door.
down here.
Got him. Alright. Time to get the prize. Tell him what he's won, Bob. I don't know. We're about to find the fuck out now. Resources. Yay. And another rifle. Switch weapon. Bitch hit the same. Mag bigger. Huh? Now see, I might switch to this because it got 20% extra magazine, but I don't really know. I might just leave it like the one I got. Hey, do you stream one this mofo? Oh, that bitch. Oh, that ain't fair.
Hey, get me the fuck out of here!
That shit there was not fucking fair. Don't like the fuck ass up this thing.
Eat that, agent!
But you play Xbox, bro? Or you on PC? They always trying to flank a motherfucker. Yeah, I'm on Xbox too. I thought about getting it on PC, but got him. But I got a little boy on the way, man. So I'm trying to just hold off on doing anything. Fire his ass up, Merc. Fire his ass. I'm trying to return the favor, huh? Merc, roll, bitch. Oh yeah, that turned out real good. I ain't really doubt that chicken stuff is gonna turn out good.
Go on ahead, back up. From the campus is taking position inside the memorial.
Nah. Blueprint. Hey, you ever thought about streaming to Facebook, bro?
I know they would have used those weapons on us, and we would have ended up like Castle. I can't tell you how relieved I am to have you on our side. Thank you.
Yeah, I got the way I do it, man, is I got Streamlabs OBS, hence all of, like the overlays, the neat artwork, like this right here.
Today was a good day. I feel like Ice Cube.
That right there, and then like back to the live screen type shit. No fucking comments on that bitch. But I use
Today, we dealt a great blow to the True Sun's infrastructure. We confiscated a
I
massive
use a
cache of chemical
laptop
weapons
that
and
has
eliminated the
Streamlabs
stronghold near the
OBS.
campus.
That's like right here.
You should be proud.
And
You
then
saved a lot of
I
lives
got my
today.
game stream right here. And you know what I'm saying? I got it. I got my other Chromebook right here that kind of monitors the health of the stream and comments and stuff like that. From all platforms, like all synchronized in one. Because there's a site called Mob Crush. If you're like using Streamlabs OBS to send out your feed through, and also I got an Elgato cap card too. That's the main thing, because like you can see everything. I remember when I first started streaming to Facebook, I was restreaming from Mixer and using Restream to send it out to Facebook and all that stuff like that. But then I wanted like the artwork, and I wanted to become kind of more of a brand myself. So when I got with the artist, cool ass dude by the way, shit man, he sent me the artwork. Shoot, I did my thing. I got with a guy about doing the OBS, because I was you know curious. I was like, man, how you my main thing that piqued my curiosity about his overlays was on the top of his overlay it said Top Flight, but then behind the words it had like a newspaper reel just steady going. Like if you really looked at it, you would see it was a newspaper reel, but you couldn't really see what it was saying, but you knew it was a newspaper reel. That shit was neat. I was trying to figure out how the fuck he did that. So I got with him, and we've been cool since. I'm got about 5 or 6 people on Facebook that, you know what I'm saying, I either help host or help promote to get that channel boosted. So just leaving that out there.
Friendly combatants nearby. Hostiles.
Because right now Facebook is our biggest platform, but we do respect each and every platform that we do stream to. Hence the reason why I have a unified chat to where all the chat is brought into one synchronized chat, so I don't have to worry about misconstruing comments and things of that nature. And I also got the comments come up on the screen too, because I saw somebody in one of the Facebook groups talking about it earlier, talking about how do you know how to communicate with people if you're restreaming to multiple platforms. I was like, why don't you just put the chat on the screen if you're using Streamlabs OBS? If you put the chat on your screen and you're using like shit like Mob Crush, open up the unified chat. I mean, it's not that hard, because One Dense Mofo's watching me on Mixer. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually watching my Facebook feed. That's the only feed I'm actually watching. Word. Let me head over there. Let me head over to Mixer and follow you back real quick. Let me head over there real quick. Show the love real quick. Real facts. Real facts. I'm gonna head over there right now, bro, and show you that love. And return that follow. Let me see. Yep. Boom. One Dense Mofo. How the fuck do I? Wait. Hold on. There we go. Wait. How do I do that? Huh? Yeah, I'm about to follow you back on Mixer, bro. Oh, look at that assault rifle damage. Damn, I want a Ferris, man. Damn. But I don't want no goddamn skill power on that bit. Yeah, I followed you back, dog. Yeah, definitely. Definitely appreciate the love, bro. Definitely follows you back. Damn, I want that Ferris group. I'm gonna delete that bit though. On God though, I can't have it. Not right now. She'll look real good soon. Real good soon. But let me know, man. Cause I can host streams from other platforms too, man. So however you want to do that. If you ever stream, you know what I'm saying, get at me one day. And you know what I'm saying, check and see what I'm actually up to. And if I ain't really doing nothing, I'll host your stream to all of the platforms that we stream to, bro. Alright, I'm level 23 now, so I'm gonna probably do like some level 23 shit. Yeah, I hosted my homie stream yesterday. Bruh went up by that PTS update. Bruh went up.
Detected. The control point in proximity.
Huh?
Friendly combatants
That
detected.
quick? Bruh, come on, bruh. Choose you on Xbox, let's do it. Yeah, this shit don't feel that tough to it. Don't really feel that tough to it. Assault rifle easy. Ooh. Ashley Apartments, that's okay, listen. Alright. You know where my dad is stay? If we was coming out his yard, right? You know that drugstore is over there? Okay. We would head out and go towards the drugstore and take North Main back towards town, basically. And it's like right, literally probably 4 minutes from Dad's house. Literally. That don't make no sense though. Yep. I'm here. Sit your ass down with that goddamn shotgun. Hostages, y'all better break free. I hear to shoot my way through y'all. I'm here to kill y'all.
Friendly combatants detected.
Moving. No line of sight.
All right. Oh, run. This is some fucking disrespect. That's what that is. Now you running. Oh, and you was an elite. And you was an elite. Frank. Right the top of your face. And you stick it up.
Civilians in distress. Incoming hostiles detected.
boss, huh?
Doesn't give up, Agent!
Definitely got to go with that guy. Stick to the ground. I don't like that. I feel like I'm about to die, but I don't feel like I'm about to die. Everybody else felt like that? Everybody yourself?
This asshole trying to play games with us.
Not trying to play games. Who the fuck is... That's why I want to kill his ass. Kill him. No.